Welcome to AI Assembled, the top AI news for small business. I'm Chris Doelle, and each week I bring you the most important AI developments that can transform your business. Let's dive into this week's top stories.
There are moments when the infrastructure of commerce quietly shifts beneath everything we take for granted. This week was one of them. Visa, the company that sits invisibly inside almost every transaction your business processes, made its clearest statement yet about where payments are heading. At the Wolfe Research FinTech Forum in New York, Visa's Chief Product and Strategy Officer Jack Forestell told analysts he has never stared into a bigger growth opportunity than what lies ahead in the development of agentic commerce. He compared it directly to the dawn of e-commerce itself in the late 1990s. That is not a small comparison. Here is what is actually happening. Visa has been running its Visa Intelligent Commerce platform since earlier this year, and it has already completed hundreds of secure, AI-initiated transactions in live production environments with more than 100 partners. Its Agentic Ready program gives banks a structured way to test AI agent-driven payments before they go public. Its Trusted Agent protocol, developed with more than 10 ecosystem partners, including Akamai Technologies, is designed to help merchants distinguish between malicious bots and legitimate AI agents acting on behalf of real customers. What this means in concrete terms is that the pipes are being built right now for a world where your customer does not browse your store and then tap a card. Instead, their AI agent browses, compares, negotiates, and checks out on their behalf, all without the customer touching a keyboard. Visa has also partnered with Amazon Web Services to make it easier for companies to build and deploy these agentic systems. For small businesses, this is not a distant scenario. Forestell pointed to B2B payments as one of the most immediate opportunities, specifically the friction involved in supplier onboarding, purchase orders, invoicing, and reconciliation. Agents, he said, will rip that friction out. If your business is still processing those steps manually or through disconnected software, you are about to face competition from companies that are not. The payment rail for the agent economy is under construction. Whether your business has a lane on that rail is going to become one of the most important operational questions of the next 18 months.
If agentic payments represent AI entering the cash register, another story this week shows AI entering the factory floor in a form that is hard to ignore. BMW confirmed it is deploying humanoid robots at its Leipzig plant in Germany, the first time the company has brought what it calls physical AI to Europe. The robot being tested is called Aeon, built by Hexagon Robotics out of Zurich, and its human-like body is designed to carry different hand, gripper, and scanning tools depending on the task. During this phase, BMW plans to use it in the assembly of high-voltage batteries and in component manufacturing. This is not a future concept. BMW already proved the model works. At its Spartanburg plant in South Carolina last year, it ran Figure AI's Figure 02 robot for 10 months. In that time, the robot supported production of more than 30,000 BMW X3 vehicles, worked 10-hour shifts 5 days a week, moved over 90,000 components, and logged approximately 1.2 million steps across 1,250 operating hours. The key finding, BMW said, was that motion sequences trained in the laboratory transferred into stable production faster than expected. BMW now has a dedicated center of competence for physical AI in production and is evaluating multiple robot partners against structured maturity criteria before selecting candidates for pilot deployments. Why does this matter to small businesses that do not build cars? Because the economics of physical AI follow the same curve as every other AI category. What costs only automakers today reaches mid-market manufacturers, logistics firms, warehouses, and distribution centers within 3 to 5 years. Tesla, Mercedes, and Hyundai are all pursuing similar programs. When humanoid robots become as unremarkable as automated conveyor belts, the businesses that have not thought about their physical workflows will be at the same disadvantage as the ones that never built a website. The deeper signal from BMW is that the transition from lab to production is accelerating. The question for every operations-focused small business is simple. What tasks in your physical environment are monotonous, ergonomically demanding, or safety critical? Because that is exactly the job description the robots are being trained to fill.
Last week, we told you NVIDIA was reportedly planning to launch Claude as an open-source AI agent platform. This week, NVIDIA made it official. At GTC 2026 in San Jose, the world's most watched AI conference, NVIDIA unveiled Claude as a single command runtime that lets you run OpenClaw agents across both local hardware and cloud models. That means you can run agents on your own workstation or server when a task is routine or sensitive, and route to external frontier models only when you need maximum capability. Think of it as a privacy router for AI agents. GTC this year was framed entirely around agentic AI. NVIDIA also announced new Vera Rubin next-generation chips in full production, a new data center storage architecture called Bluefield 4 STX, built for AI workflows, and a range of open physical AI blueprints for robotics. The conference confirmed what the industry has been signaling for months. The infrastructure race is no longer just about who makes the fastest chips. It is about who builds the most complete stack for deploying, managing, and securing AI agents at scale. The model pricing story also moved sharply this week. OpenAI released GPT 5.4 Mini and Nano on March 18th, two smaller models designed specifically for high-volume, cost-sensitive workloads. Faster, cheaper, and purpose-built for the kind of repetitive business tasks that do not need a frontier model's full reasoning power. On the same day, Anthropic confirmed that Claude Opus 4.6 and Sonnet 4.6 now include the full 1 million token context window at standard pricing on the Claude platform. That means you can feed an entire project archive, a quarter's worth of client emails, or a 100-page contract into a single conversation without the system losing context. For small businesses, the pricing and capability moves this week are genuinely significant. The direction is toward more powerful tools at lower cost, with more local execution options and fewer reasons to hand sensitive data to a remote server. The question is no longer whether you can afford frontier-class AI. It is whether your workflows are ready to use it.
One of the quieter but more consequential shifts of this moment is the disruption happening inside the software subscription economy. The story that defined the last decade for small businesses was SaaS. Pay monthly for a tool that does one job, stack a dozen of those tools together, and manage the integrations. That model is now under serious pressure. What is replacing it is not a single tool or a single vendor. It is the rise of AI agents that can execute workflows autonomously across software without requiring a dedicated interface or a human to operate each one. A company that used to need separate subscriptions for customer relationship management, marketing automation, scheduling, and reporting may soon be able to coordinate much of that through a single agent layer that talks to APIs, triggers actions, and returns results. Deloitte's Technology Outlook this year noted that major SaaS providers are scrambling to embed agents into their platforms precisely because the threat is real. For small businesses, this is both an opportunity and a timing problem. The opportunity is that cheaper, more autonomous software is coming. A task-oriented AI agent can cost cents per execution versus hundreds of dollars per month for a dedicated SaaS seat. The timing problem is that the transition is uneven. Some categories of business software are being rebuilt around agents faster than others, and switching costs are real. The companies that win this transition will be the ones who identify which parts of their current software stack are most vulnerable to agent replacement and begin testing alternatives before they are forced to. The Claude 1 million token context window, now available at standard pricing, makes this more accessible than it sounds. If you can give an AI agent the full context of a project, a customer history, or a product catalog in one session without losing information, you have something that most SaaS dashboards were never designed to provide: a system that actually remembers what matters. That combination of long memory and autonomous execution is what makes this moment feel different from every previous wave of business software change.
Now we need to talk about something that affects every small business with a website, a marketing budget, or a customer who uses an AI assistant to find things. The era of search engine optimization is not over, but it is no longer sufficient on its own. Something called answer engine optimization, or AEO, is rapidly becoming the more important discipline, and most small businesses have not started thinking about it. Here is the problem. For the past 20 years, getting found online meant ranking in Google. You optimized your pages for keywords, built backlinks, created content that the algorithm rewarded. That still matters. But a growing share of discovery is now happening inside AI assistants. When someone asks ChatGPT to recommend a local accountant, a plumbing service, a law firm, or a good marketing agency, those AI systems are not scanning Google search results and returning a ranked list. They are generating an answer from the information they have been trained on and the sources they trust. If your business is not cited in those sources, you are invisible in that conversation. AEO means structuring your content, your authority signals, and your online presence so that AI systems can find you, understand what you do, and confidently recommend you when someone asks a relevant question. It means making your website machine-readable in the right ways, having consistent structured data, earning mentions in the publications and directories that AI systems draw from, and making sure your expertise is documented in formats that language models can parse and trust. This is not a theoretical shift. Reports from HubSpot, Prismic, and multiple marketing research firms published in the past 30 days all point to the same finding. Organic traffic from traditional search is flattening, while AI-driven discovery is growing. If you want to know whether your website is ready to be found by AI systems, not just search engines, there is a free tool for that at freshmediaworks.com/AI ready. That is freshmediaworks.com/AI ready. It will tell you exactly where you stand and what to fix first. The businesses that move on this now will own the high ground before most of their competitors realize the landscape has changed.
So let us close with what this week actually adds up to for a small business trying to stay oriented in a market that is moving fast in every direction at once. Visa is building the payment infrastructure for a world where AI agents shop and pay on behalf of customers. That infrastructure is live in beta right now. If your business takes payments, either consumer or business to business, the friction that used to separate your product from a completed transaction is being engineered away. The businesses that have clean APIs, clear product data, and machine-readable checkout flows will benefit first. BMW put humanoid robots on a European factory floor and proved that the lab-to-production gap for physical AI is shorter than most expected. If your business has any physical operations, any manufacturing, fulfillment, warehousing, or logistics, the timeline for automation is compressing. You do not need to buy a robot this year, but you should know what tasks in your physical workflow are on the list. NVIDIA officially launched NemoClaw. OpenAI released faster, cheaper models in GPT 5.4 Mini and Nano. Anthropic extended Claude's full 1 million token context to standard pricing. AI infrastructure is getting more accessible, more local, and more affordable every month. The ceiling on what a small team can build is rising quickly. The SaaS subscription stack is under pressure from agents that can execute workflows autonomously. Some of the software you pay for monthly is going to be replaced. The smart move is to audit which tools you are actually using and which ones could be handled by an agent before someone else makes that choice for you. And if you have not started thinking about AI search visibility, the window to get ahead of competitors is right now. Check your AI readiness at freshmediaworks.com/airready. This has been AI Assembled for the week of March 16th through March 22nd, 2026. I'm Sam. Thank you for listening, and we will be back next Monday.
That's it for this week's AI Assembled, the top AI news for small business. If you found this valuable, share it with a fellow business owner. If you want a hands-on group that you can work with on your specific AI needs, consider joining Business Success Academy at freshmediaworks.com/BSA. Until next week, keep innovating and keep it real.